to today's transmission. It is Friday, and you know how it is. Fridays are days that, you know, workers look up to Fridays and then they say, oh, at least I will rest Saturday and Sunday. But for some of us, we do not have such privilege. For you, we congratulate you and welcome you to Friday. I know you already outlined a lot of activities you're going to, you know, engage yourself with over the weekend to relax after working Monday through Friday. Well, congratulations. And that is how God just made it. That some of us will work all through, not having weekend, while some persons will have weekend to enjoy. And so, on that note, welcome to today's transmission. My name is Helen Eric Jeminiwa. And being Friday, nothing really, all hands has to be on deck to ensure that today's business has to go smoothly, so that when you leave at the end of today, you will be rest assured that truly I have put in a work that I deserve to be paid for. Well, it's newspaper segment. Let's get down to business. And this morning we'll start the newspaper segment with the Vanguard news. Sorry, the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper has this headline: Allah, old warpath for new entrants. That you can find on page 6. Alaafin versus the Oni, old warpath for new entrants. Page 6. Then, harder, faster, how guests for sexual validation boosts manpower business, organ damage. That's a big story on the Vanguard today, and you can find that on page 5, 4, and 5. Besides that, we find, despite mounting debts, NNPCL declares 185 billion naira profit, pays FAC 7.9 trillion naira. That you'll see on page 3 of the Vanguard. Rift deepening in PDP over Lagos gathering ahead of Ibadan convention. RMAFC defies uproar, reviews remuneration packages for office holders. That you find on page 3 also. Catholic bishops threaten to dismiss politically inclined clerics. That is on page 30 of the Guardian. Ebonyi landslide kills 2 as state government seals mining sites. And that is on page 29 of the Guardian. Nigeria's FX reserves hit $41 billion, highest in 44 months, says the CBN. And that's it on the Guardian this morning. Up next is the Daily Trust that says Casino Mosque attack search continues as over 50 bodies recovered. Renewed hostilities disturbing the CDC is talking. That is the Daily Trust. 2027 micro-zoning battle splits Southern PDP leaders. Also, from the Daily Trust, we see, despite meeting OPEC quota, price drop threatens Nigeria's capital projects. That is on the Daily Trust. Governments deport 102 Chinese nationals, others over cyber crime. That is on the Daily Trust. Amidst criticisms, RMAFC begins public officers' pay review. That is coming from the Daily Trust. Then Nigeria's forex reserves rise to $41 billion. FCT community residents vacate homes over erosion. Finally, man allegedly flogs son to death. All you get On the Daily Trust newspaper, when you visit the Vanguard, the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, you see all that. Up next, we see the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune has PDP crisis, Makinde talks tough. PDP crisis, Makinde talks tough. When people go low or go into the gutters, I don't go with them, he says. Expresses readiness to reach out to the aggrieved. As Southern leaders disown Lagos zoning. Party not dead will offer better option in 2027, says Governor Diri. Others. NEC meets on Monday to adopt zoning committee reports. All are found on the Nigerian Tribune. Then, Alafin, why I won't be in supremacy battle with Eddie Oba. The Alafin is talking, and that you can find on page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune. Women mistaken for kidnapper in Kwara killed in jungle justice. Oh, that you find on page 29 when you visit the Nigerian Tribune. Or your government approves 1 billion naira compensation for circular railroad project, disburses 600 million naira, page 3. Then on health, vegetarian diet can slash cancer risk by up to 45%, study finds. Vegetarian diet can slash cancer risk by up to 45%, study finds. That you see on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. We will get our local governments back. A delegate is talking there. Battles PDP members for 2026 election. Rallies PDP members for 2026 elections. That you find on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. ASU threatens fresh strike, rejects FG's loan scheme. Mobilizes members for rallies across universities next week. All that I have read out now, you find them when you visit the Nigerian Tribune. Then next, we get to the matrix. The matrix. Nigeria on track to achieve 2.5 MBPD crude output targets in 2026. The NUPRC is talking there. World we are in now is dangerous. World we are in now is dangerous. Learn self-defense skills, CDS urges Nigerians. Says terrorists using gold to fund operations. Wow, you find out on page 3 of the matrix. By elections, INEC presents certificate of return to new lawmakers on page 8 of the matrix. Then this very bold headline that says fresh crisis rocks PDP. Wike absent as Southern leaders reject Lagos summits. Makinde NEC to decide zoning. Monday vows to reach out to aggrieved members. That is coming from Makinde. Court member recounts brutal assault by Anambra vigilantes. That you find, I saw that during the week. That you find on page 9 of the matrix. And President Tinubu departs Japan for Brazil. That is on page 2. Welcome, dear First Lady. Welcome, dear First Lady. I think I like that headline. Police debunk viral poster claiming Iyabojo is wanted. Police debunk viral poster claiming Iyabojo is wanted, and that is on page 21. Alaafin breaks silence, denies the supremacy battle with Oni. You find that on page 9. Boniface set for medical as AS Milan or AS Milan. Leverkusen agree 29 million euro deal for the sport lovers that you see on page 22. And let's run to the Punch. The Punch these days says CDS 2027 pulls behind surge in killings. 2027 pulls behind surge in killings. Steady flow of foreign cash empowering terrorists. Musa is talking. Nigeria facing growing security risk from Sahel conflicts. Defense chief. If the defense chief is saying so, we have to pay attention to it. UK recognizes Alaafin as Yoruba supreme ruler. Owade tells Oni. PDP crisis. Wike camp rejects zoning talks with Makinde Diri. The PDP governors convene in Zamfara to resolve convention deadlock party crisis. You can find that on page 2 for the political lovers. UK leads Nigeria's Q1 capital inflow with 5.5 trillion naira. UK leads Nigeria's first quarter capital inflow with 5.5 trillion naira. Then let's get down and then to see what's okay. EFCC, NIS expel another 51 foreigners jailed for cyber fraud offenses. And external reserves climb to 44-month high of $41 billion. 3 US-based Nigerians jailed 8 years for $520,000 fraud. Oyo to pay 1 billion naira compensation on secular road projects. And the Vanguard says, I'm trying to hurry up now. Climate change, how flood worsen Nigerians' healthcare woes. Wow. Climate change, how floods worsen Nigerians' healthcare woes. Havoc from floods, heat, unpredictable weather. Experts warn of deadly rise in diseases. Nigeria on environmental cliff change. Why proactive and inclusive policies are imperative to check looming disaster. Newspaper review this morning. Let's get to Daily Sun. Daily Sun has PDP decides on FCT minister. PDP decides on FCT minister. We won't go into gutters with Wike, says Governor Makinde. We won't go into gutters, says Governor Makinde. Opposition parties insist on Monday neck. That is politics. FJ pushing us to nationwide strike. Ask you. FG pushing us to nationwide strike. Rejects loan scheme. Holds mass rally on campuses next week. That is coming from the RC there. Then RMAFC shuns public outcry. Opposition begins remuneration packages to office holders. You can find out on page 25 of the Daily Sun. Then celebration as Governor Mba unveils reconstructed hotel presidential Enugu. That's nice. I've been there at the Hotel Presidential Enugu. I've been there. Yeah. Celebration as Governor Mba unveils reconstructed Hotel Presidential Enugu. North battered by multiple tragedies. Kindly visit the Daily Sun for that. At Lagos Roadshow, Bauchi unveils economic investment potentials. Assault on NYSC girl, LP nurse caucus demands prosecution. Edo government seals shrines, declares cult leaders wanted. Then let's get to showbiz. The showbiz gist. The showbiz gist says, please debunk viral poster claiming Iyabojo is wanted. Please debunk viral poster claiming Iyabojo is wanted. And J1 accuses Afrobeat gospel artist of copying his hits this year. Okay, J1 accuses Afrobeat gospel artist of copying his hits this year. Lil Kish stabbed in Lagos robbery, fans panic. Up there we also see Shatterwell's detention triggers fan protest. And finally, Ogunlade Adekola lays father to rest in Ekiti. And that's it on the newspaper review this morning. And I hope you have one or two that picks that's of interest to you. And good morning once again. I have beautiful Beauty here with me. Let's take a look at some of the papers. Beauty, which of the newspaper headlines catches your fancy?
All the stories are good. Good morning, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. It's I think the ones that's of interest to me now is the ASU strike and the core member that was humiliated. We'll not finish talking about the Miss Comfort Martin that was humiliated and no stripped naked, and then now we're talking about female being dehumanized. I don't know why the men folks are quick to undressing us inappropriately. Whatever reason that it was, the extent to which she was humiliated and stripped naked in the public. Why do we do this?
Now, they say the female folks are dressing inappropriately, exposing their body parts. When I watched that video, I didn't see that core member dressed inappropriately.
She was in the house, not even on the road. She was in her apartment. So now, if I'm in my apartment now and I choose to, but she wasn't indecently dressed. But the way she was dragged out and beaten, manhandled by over 7 men. What are we doing?
Growing up, we see a culture where the female are being protected by the male. Don't forget what the Bible says, that you should deal with the women as a weaker vessel, because our strength cannot be compared with that of the male. So I'm wondering what is going on now, no matter the offense. Well, the state government has said, and the Labour Party all are saying, and the Senate.
The people have been arrested. They've been arrested.
Yes.
And detained. Now
Yes.
one thing is to arrest, identify and arrest them. One thing is to prosecute and do the right thing. But let's wait and see what they are going to do about it. The outcome.
And then yesterday I also read that the vigilante group has been, disbanded and all that. So let's just wait for their report. As
then
for
the
me,
ASU strike.
yeah.
Now, I was trying to read up something here. Why do Academic Staff Union of Universities, as well as warned that Nigeria may soon experience another shutdown of public universities if the federal government fails to urgently address lingering issues, including the renegotiation of 2009 ASU federal government agreement with head salaries and the controversial tertiary institution staff support fund. I don't know why we keep going back and forth like this on this particular. Well, speaking at the press conference now, the University of Jos ASU president Professor Christopher accused the government of sustaining a disturbing culture of broken promises and delayed tactics despite repeated engagement. Now, my point now is that why do we believe in this country that at every point we have to protest, we have to strike before we're being listened to? Why do governments do negotiations, renegotiations, and they not meet up with the agreements? Why? Now you have this student counterpart who are in the private university will go ahead. This one in public schools now will be delayed. And then you're doing a 4-year course, you end up staying 6 to 7 years. No fault of yours. How can we get out of this?
See, I'm looking at you. Because we say one thing and we do another. We're not moving forward. From one administration down to the other is the same. They say this one is the best candidate, vote for this person, vote, and then we go out and cast our vote.
You know, when I keep saying that they should vote me, elect me, I won't do all of this. You think it's a joke?
It might not be. See, Beauty, I don't think it has to do with the individual to some extent.
Because my children will school here.
To some extent. I think it has to do with the system.
Who are the system?
The system are the owners of the structures. So by the time you want to say, okay, no, I don't like this, let's do it this way, they come after you and they say, you are destroying my structure. The structure that I have already laid down, you are scattering it.
You know, like I said before, one of the topics we've heard here, I said, if the government will put a law, as a bill, every politician, every leader who is in authority should have their children school here, should have their families go to use the hospitals here. All of these things will stop.
Do you know
because
why?
if you go to the same hospital, you want to make it fine.
Do you know why it's going to work?
I don't know.
You don't know. Now let me tell you. Who will put that law and who will obey? When your father is at the hem of affair over there, you misbehave. Because you know that with one phone call, you hear, please let her go.
But do you have to misbehave because your father is at the hem of affair?
That is
the question. You're not. That's immanent.
That is the question.
So because my father is God now, so I should just go about and then
trample on
everybody.
Keep trampling. You're covered.
Oh no.
Just keep trampling. And that's what we keep saying. Have self-discipline. And it starts from the home. I have always been pointing at the home. It starts from the home. You're a mother. If you have your family value, your children will grow with that family value to any extent they want to get to in life. They will just obey it because that is just how it is. You behave the way you know. It starts from your home.
Charity begins at home.
It starts from the home. So you already, made. You get out and then you see otherwise, you kick against it. But now what we see is otherwise. Parents, mothers are telling their children, no be your mates, they dash with their parents, they buy iPhone, they do this, they buy car. What is that child doing at 19, at 20? When you know your child is not doing something tangible, you know your child is not working. I mean, I have been working for, you know how long we've been working? Have you been able to buy a plot of land? Who dash you? Then you see an undergraduate,
And
19 years.
I know what, my mother did not for one day ask me, what are you bringing to the table?
Good.
Why are you not brought me a wrapper or a car or what? She didn't do that.
But that is what is obtainable now. So you see the generation, I'm wondering, in the next, Jesus tarries, the next 10 years, the kind of leaders we will have.
No, God will intervene.
The kind of leaders we will have, I'm wondering, it gives me concern. It does. Because all we want is now.
Immediate gratification. What is happening now? What we want now? Let's happen now. House rents is skyrocketing. High prices of.
Please don't go there. I'm happy. Let me just concentrate, please. Please don't go there. Now, there is a story trending. Do we still have time? Maybe we'll just talk about it.
Yeah.
Some years back, I had this niece of mine as an undergraduate. So she was in my house. So we're talking. She wore handless. So I just looked at her arm. I saw, a mark. I was like, I called her, Ogo, what is this on your palm? She says, she was trying to explain. I said, no, I don't get what are you? She says, family planning. I said,
okay.
Family planning. You had to do an implant?
Yeah.
At how old? About 17. I'm telling you, about 10 years ago. So I didn't like it. So I said, why? She said it's protecting her, blah, 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 blah. I said, So because of the way I responded, she didn't like it. Now, she didn't know where I was going to. All her concern was that maybe I'm trying to. But now, that is the trend. I'm wondering, beauty, why are we going this way? Are we encouraging teenagers should go to the streets?
So which one do you prefer? Teenagers betting children and dumping them at the dustbins, or betting children and selling them, or them preventing, since they cannot put themselves together, since they cannot stop, they cannot, restrain. What do you want? Because oftentimes we hear a child is being found at a dustbin and they got in the drain, it's been abandoned and then we have those who are on the prowl now looking for teenagers to bet children for them because they cannot bet children, and then they take these children and then they give them peanuts. And so which one do you prefer? Since they cannot restrain themselves from getting indulged, then they're looking for how to prevent the unwanted pregnancies. Because the pregnancy will not go and look for those who are looking for them. Yes, there are those who are searching with money, but they just look for those who don't want them. Unwanted people, unwanted pregnancies.
Now,
all boils down to the home also.
Boils down to the home. Can we have family values? Do we still have values?
So now, if we have family values now, these ones who don't have, like these teenagers, we've heard stories of how people pick teenagers on the street and then they accommodate them in the warehouse and then they indulge them, they give birth. Those children now, who are the value? Who will validate them? They don't have value, don't want to validate them. So they roam the streets round, and then whoever picks them and they say, come, I'll accommodate you, I'll feed you. They have an ulterior motive behind that accommodation. So it is the ones who have a family that the family can validate. And I say, okay, let us instill some value into you. But if we don't have, what do we ask the government to start picking up street children, and then there are street children home?
Yes.
What
happens to those, we hear of NGO, I have this NGO. What happens to those NGOs? All I'm hearing NGOs talk now is oil spill, corruption. This is part of corruption. This is part of the corruption fight. So it's giving me concern because
maybe you and I should open an NGO.
Yeah,
and start picking them and then start seeing what we can do
to harness these, you
to
know,
stop
potentials.
them, those who are
Yes.
coming, how to stop them and all that. But it is what it is.
Yes, a lot of job, a lot to be done by the government, a lot to be done by you and I, a lot. Let's not have this mindset of myself alone. No, affect your neighbor. God gets to affect other people, because the legacy you lay down will live after you. I hear, I think there was a woman in Kogi State or thereabout that has over 5,000 kids, not biologically has. And that woman, do you think she will ever, you know, be in need of anything in life? It's not possible. That's because
the
she
children
has.
are responsible.
Yes.
But if they're not responsible, she will be in it.
Out of all that number, at least few will be.
You can never tell.
Few, I know them. Few will be.
Okay.
Well, we've discussed one or two topics. I hope there is one that is of interest to you. This is where we draw the curtain down this morning, hoping that we have learned something new, giving you food for thought today. Keep enjoying the today's transmission. We'll come back to you again on Monday, and until then, don't change the dial.
Don't change the dial. At 10 o'clock this morning, inside the mirror of Beauty Benjamin, we kick off. You don't want to miss it. Let's hold on and see what it unveils. Thank you for staying with us.